Sorry, you mind if I move this?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is gonna be easier for me to.
United 221, Academy approach, radar contact, altimeter 2992, vectors for the ILS, runway 28 right. Turn left, heading 250,
So,
descend and maintain
we
3000.
talked about fly present heading before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so generally what happens with a 360, and it's not always the case, the AI is quasi-mysterious in how it operates.
Yeah.
But let's say, so these planes tend to enter at 035. So at 035, if you wanted him to stay on that heading, and you said turn right heading 035, he's already going 035. So what he's gonna do is go right to go to 035.
Okay.
So if you can't tell that the angle is different from the
November
angle you want,
334,
it's
Sierra
probably not
Romeo, Academy
significant
approach, radar
enough.
contact, altimeter 2992,
So
vectors for ILS,
035,
runway
that
28
is the same
right.
problem
Turn
with,
left,
like,
heading
let's say that you were just
250,
telling this person, let's
descend and
say,
maintain
oh, I like
3000.
040 is my starting angle. But at 035, you're thinking, well, that's really close.
Yeah.
There's no point in guessing left or right because 035 is too close.
Okay.
The advantage that you have
United
is
221,
that
17 miles from Woody.
if it's also
Maintain
that close,
3000 until established on
even
the
if you're trying to
localizer.
do
Cleared
that angle
ILS, runway 28 right.
you can say fly present heading,
Okay.
right? And the one part of that is fly present heading is obviously the closer up the angle you want, that you probably don't need to alter them anyway.
Yeah.
But the second part of that is that when you say fly present heading, they read back the heading they're on.
Okay.
So you'll say fly present heading, they'll say continue on 035. You know, yada yada yada.
That makes sense. Also, I was a little confused as well because Joe didn't really correct me on this. But
Delta 782, Academy approach, radar contact, altimeter 2992, vectors for ILS, runway 28 right.
What I was supposed to say.
Fly present heading, descend and maintain 6000.
I guess turn right heading 100, and then I'd be okay right here. Should I be doing that, like waiting at 12 right here if they're coming in that
For
way?
100.
November
Yeah, I don't know
4
if I should,
Sierra
like,
Romeo,
I should, like, just
20 miles from Woody, maintain 3000 until
So
established
I
on the
would say-
localizer.
So,
I didn't
Cleared
know
ILS,
if
runway
so these
28
two
right.
green lines right here.
Yes.
These are like your downwind lines, sort of. Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Very specific about it.
Okay.
So
Give myself leeway.
the way I describe these though is that they're the downwind lines, but to me they're more of like the limit. Right? If you go any closer than that, what happens is you've got to turn them. So if you're here and you give them the turn, you've seen from past experience that the turn takes time. Right? So at that standard turn rate, usually by the time they finish that turn, they're a couple miles in. But then you've got to turn them onto the dog leg. So then by the time they turn the dog leg, they're another couple miles in. So in order to do that full turn, you got to expect it's going to be like roughly 4 miles.
Yeah.
This line's at about 7 miles.
Yeah.
So you've got to turn 3 miles leeway, turn.
Okay.
That's not always the case, but that's a rough estimate.
Once I get them to do their base turn, I guess we're like 310. Once I clear them, they should be set to go. Like, they'll just, I don't know.
And once you get on 310, you can pretty much clear them as long as they're following the rules for the distance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like at least 2 miles before Woody, although I usually tell you guys to aim for 10
Okay.
because
You said to clear.
to clear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was doing way.
What you're doing like back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can get as close as here.
Okay.
If they do not intersect by this point, let's go around. So
Southwest
Woody's right here, that's the final
6813,
approach.
Academy approach, radar
So
contact,
you need to
altimeter
do something
2992,
before
vectors for
Woody, you know,
ILS, runway 28
final
right.
approach faces your final
Descend,
position.
fly present heading,
So
descend and
by
maintain
you getting
6000.
onto the line and aligned 2 miles before that point, you give them time to make that decision.
Okay.
So 2 miles before the final approach fix. However, because you know, like even if you get really accurate at like vectoring, you might be off by like I said, the scale of
Yeah.
the scope. Like you cannot operate on the same small scale that the pilot can. So if you aim for the 10, if you're 2 miles forward, it'll make you're still in. So I would say generally aim for this 10, either the 10 ring or just this 10 mile from the airport mark. Yeah. So I mean, you know, but yeah, has to be on the dog leg within 30 degrees. Has to be before 2 miles before Woody, and has to be at 3,000 feet by the time it intercepts, not by the time you clear.
For Woody, I have not said that at all. I just because I heard.
Oh, the Woody line?
Yeah.
It's
I never said. I was like, I don't know.
it's a questionable line. So the dialogue, even sending in recordings.
Yes, the ones he posted a while ago, yes. But I don't.
Have you gotten feedback?
I have gotten feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, I have. But he didn't say nobody.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to him if he cares that much. If you want to do the dialogue, there are a couple of things worth noting with the 5 miles from Woody or whatever line. So, the things to note about it are, it doesn't affect anything unless it goes wrong. If it goes wrong, then it only can screw things up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what's annoying about it. So, in reality, so, you know, like if you're talking to pilots, like you're 5 miles from the final approach, you know, or you're 10 miles, or you're
Delta 782,
that's
climb and
to, like,
maintain
let the pilot
4000.
know, like, hey, this is how long you have for decisions.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's in line, everything's good.
Okay.
But the computer
American
does
411, Academy approach radar
nothing with
contact,
that
altimeter
information,
2992,
right?
vectors for ILS,
So if you
runway
say-
28 right.
If he's here and you say 5 miles from Woody, that's correct.
Fly
If he
present
goes
heading,
and it's
descend and
fine.
maintain
If he's back here and you
6000.
say 5 miles from Woody and it's correct, he's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to him at all. So as far as the computer current is concerned, like the distance from Woody doesn't matter.
American 411, turn
So
left heading
if you read that and you get it
turn left
completely
heading
wrong, It doesn't
170.
matter. What does matter is if you read it and then it doesn't understand you and then it says turn left heading 180 or something, and then, like I said, it's a line that fixes nothing and can only screw things up.
Yeah. Okay.
But you should
I'm
probably
just
practice it.
scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was also confused about with the aircraft merging.
Delta 782, turn right heading 100.
So if an aircraft was like right here,
Mhm.
I wouldn't know if I should say I don't know how aircraft are northeast as like an alert, because I didn't know if you wanted to turn like me saying that just to like give a alert to another aircraft.
What, like a, you talking about like a traffic cone or?
Yeah, a little like a collision alert or like a potential.
Don't worry about those for now.
Okay.
Learn the traffic alert dialogue. If you want to do it on them, fine.
Okay.
But don't worry about it for right now.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. For UAM, I just want to double check. This says. I would just say for UFO example, I just say like turn left 250 and then
From his position right here, yeah. So, like initial call up, you know, United 221 Academy approach radar contact altimeter 299 vectors for ILS runway 28 right. So,
I saw that.
Spec 11, Academy approach radar contact, altimeter
It's okay if you
2992,
want to.
vectors
It
for
doesn't
ILS,
matter.
runway 28
same
right.
thing, like in reality.
Fly present heading, descend and
it really
maintain
matters
6000.
Because, you know, altimeter affects how you're reading altitude, and you could be like 500 feet too low, 500 feet too high. It
Yeah.
matters. The program does, the computer does nothing with that information.
Yep.
So if he reads
American
like, you know,
411,
30,
turn left heading 160, descend and maintain
whatever, it
5000.
doesn't matter because it's not going to affect the computer.
Okay.
That's why, like, if he gets it wrong, just don't bother correcting it. In reality, though, definitely correct it.
Okay.
Um,
Makes sense.
So, from here, United, because of the angling, so you know you need to intercept this point and you need to be on a dog leg. So, I mean, the way I always describe it is that since this is the, well, this is actually your intercept point, but it's your intercept point, you have to think of it as essentially cones of viability. So, 30 degrees looks roughly like that, 20 degrees, 10 degrees. You know, and as you can see, as the angle gets tighter, the cone which you can viably turn them gets much, much smaller, to the point that something like a 270 is rarely viable unless you've already gotten it really close to the line and you need to turn them tight.
So if I, what you were trying to do, what you were saying, so if he's on a 2950 and he's on a 310, and he's free.
American 411, turn left heading
But
100.
not 280, and can still do it and then correct themselves. I don't know if that makes sense. That's okay if not. I'm worried if they won't be on subject for 280 they're supposed to be.
So
because
once
it
you
was-
clear them, they will align themselves.
Southwest 6813, turn right heading 100, descend and maintain
If there's a lot
4000.
of space, it's not
I was gonna
good.
say, like, what do you mean by not enough clearance?
Like you say, to moving out right here, and I'm worried if that doesn't make them that much high.
Right,
But
so
I know there's that's not true.
here's the thing. For the three.
AC-45 Academy approach, radar
it's not
contact,
about,
altimeter 29902, vectors for
you
ILS,
have to-
runway
you have to
28
be
right.
within those rules, but you don't need to
Turn
be-
right
you
heading
don't have to wait for
100,
this
descend and
to be
maintain
so, like I said,
5000.
rule one is they have to intercept before this point, right? So if you're back here and you're aiming him here, he's gonna intercept before that point, right? And then he has to be on a dog leg, so he has to be within 30 degrees. This is roughly a 30-degree angle. So
AC-45, reduce
and then,
speed
he has to intercept 3,000 by the time
250.
he hits this line, right? So United in this case, he's at 6,000 right now, but by the time he gets to the line, he will be at 3,000. So the moment you tell United turn left heading 250, descend and maintain 3,000, give him a second to get on his
Delta
his
782, turn left
angle,
heading
and then you can say
010,
15 miles
descend and
per hour,
maintain 3000.
clear to ILS runway 28 right. So he can be back here and you can clear him. He'll have tons of time. You can clear him. That only gets more complicated as you either A, get closer to the intercept point, or B, tighten up your angle. So, but yeah, in the case of United specifically, and this is the advantage of having straight ins, is that you can, like, they're an easy practice. So, if you put a plane, if you catch them early enough, obviously as they fly in, this becomes inaccurate. But if you pull up United immediately, say United 221, turn left heading 260, descend and maintain 3,000. 260, by the time you finish that call, he'll be about here. By the time he starts doing it, he'll be about here.
Delta
And
782,
260
turn left heading
is
310.
exactly that. So by giving him a 260 immediately, he hits exactly that 10.
Okay.
And you tell him to descend and maintain 3,000, and you know that because of the standard descent rate, by the time he covers that distance, he'll be at 3,000. So the moment you finish here and you say 260, as soon as you finish descending, you can say United, like from all the way back here, you can say United 221.
United 656 Academy approach, radar
So that's what's
contact,
like-
altimeter 29902, vectors
The
for
timing
ILS,
of it is
runway
entirely
28
dependent on
right.
how you arrange.
Fly present heading.
So, what I usually tell people to do as a standard, like, pattern,
Delta
so, like,
782,
when you're doing-
7 miles from Woody, maintain 3000
This
until
right.
established on the localizer, cleared
Right.
ILS, runway 28
So,
right.
This is the 15 miles from the runway. So, because of the way the 30-degree angles work, what I usually suggest people learn is you come in on the downwind. Once you hit roughly aligned with this line, probably a little bit sooner. Yeah, as soon as you do that, you do your base turn and 010. The turn itself will take like a mile or a mile and a half.
I usually haven't done it. Like, I usually just like, okay, please. Like, they'll be on their window and
Right. So you don't need to like zoop them all
yeah,
the way.
that makes more sense.
Have you been have you had them in this close, or have you had them out here?
I
Okay.
had them a lot closer. Cause,
Yeah.
well, I try to get them anyway, because the turn is like so big.
AC-45, reduce speed 230.
So bring them all the way out here.
Okay.
Right. So like I said, this is the downwind line. But
AC-45, reduce speed 230.
And for simplicity's sake, a lot of times I tell you guys, try to keep it between here and here.
Spec
You don't
11,
need to be
turn
on the
right
line
heading
all the time.
100,
That's what I see a lot of people
descend and
do.
maintain
They try to aim for the line exactly every
4,000.
time, and then they get distracted here, the plane flies past and now they're inside the line. Right? Then you can just bring, like, that's not a big deal. Like, that's 100. You can bring them into 09 or 0, gently bring them out on a 10-degree angle.
Yeah.
But if you always aim for here and you get distracted while you're there, you still have time to turn before he gets there. The other thing about that is that sometimes, especially so when you're
Southwest
doing visual
6813, turn left heading 010, descend and maintain 3000.
A single airport, and all the planes are going to the simplest, and they have to line up, right?
United
It's-
656, turn left heading 100,
Well,
descend and maintain
now,
5000.
Every once in a while, you're going to have to do the math calculation,
Yeah.
right? The shortcut version, where you just say like, oh, okay, he's going half the speed, he's going full speed, or whatever. But you're gonna have to do the calculation where you're like, he's here and he's here. Well, in this case, they're at the same position. They're gonna hit the same.
FedEx 88 Academy approach, radar contact, altimeter 29902, vectors for ILS, runway 28 right.
When I, like, halfway between.
Turn right heading 170, descend and maintain 6000.
Oh, you mean for the dog leg?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was talking about with the cones. So, a 30-degree angle, trying to intercept that point looks roughly like that.
Okay.
So anything inside of that line is a perfectly valid turn. Anything outside of it will go missed. So,
Southwest
that's why,
6813,
you form your
turn
plans.
left heading
And then again,
310.
when you're doing 20 degree angles,
7
anything
miles
inside
from
that
Woody.
line is valid.
Maintain 3,000
Anything
until
outside
established on
of
the
it is invalid.
localizer.
So,
Cleared ILS runway
like,
28
you
right.
can see that the cone, like 30, 20, 10,
Yeah.
right? That's why most of the time I'm going to tell you guys to, like, you need to know when to do a 20 and a 10, but for comfort most of the time, for just fundamentally doing it, start with 30s. It gives you time.
Yeah.
Time is the important factor here every single time, right? So like, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just get not worried, but well, not even stressed out. I just get so it doesn't fit my voice. And though I have to consciously make leeway for myself and know that I'm not gonna see the perspective like
And that's
American
the benefit.
411, turn right, heading 190, descend and maintain
starting from back,
3,000.
right? So the further back the cone is, the more distance you have from the line, right? So when you, like you said, in your case, when it doesn't understand you, you then have to repeat the call.
Arrow 357 Oscar Foxtrot, Academy approach, radar contact,
So
altimeter
if you're trying to hit right
29902,
on 10 and you've turned
vectors
it
for
here,
ILS runway
and then
28
turn
right,
here, you see that you
turn
have
left heading
1 mile
270,
until you
climb and
get to the
maintain
line. And once you
7,000.
pass the line, it's not a valid landing anymore. And so, and doing the dialogue alone, because the clearance dialogue is fairly long.
Yeah.
So doing that dialogue alone usually means you're going to cover like a mile or two by the time you finish it. So by doing it this close, you give yourself very little room for leeway. The same thing with really tight angles, like a 270, where like when you have to turn them this close to the line, you have less leeway. Although you can think of the angles like the ratio of the distance they're going to cover laterally versus the distance they're going to cover directly to the line. So like it's more complicated than to simplify without getting too deep into it. So by doing lines where you're out here and you get to clear, if he's on the base leg and he didn't get your call, if it goes perfectly, he goes in like that, you're fine. If he misses, he goes in here, you're still fine. If he misses again, you're still here, he goes in.
Yeah.
So by giving you a potential to clear out here,
American 411,
it gives you
turn right
the
heading
longest possible
250,
time and the most chances to
7
get
miles
that
from Woody, maintain 3,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 28 right.
Should I be slowing them down?
No, that's fine.
Okay. I just wanted to see.
So I'm not exactly
Spec
sure how the
11,
program interprets it,
turn
whatever
left
explanation you want
heading
to.
010, descend and maintain
but
3,000.
You're seeing ground speed, I
Yeah.
believe, and he's seeing airspeed. So
That makes it. Well, I
when-
didn't realize that.
I don't know if that's an intentional quirk of the program, because obviously
November
it's a
245
simulation,
Echo
so they
Golf,
can
Academy
think that
approach,
they
radar
can do
contact,
something.
altimeter
But
29902,
the point
vectors
is
for
that the
ILS
numbers
runway
always
28
change.
right.
So when this says
Reduce
280,
speed
and it's consistent every single time.
250.
If you call them at 280 and you say reduce speed to 250, they will call back and say I am going 250.
Yeah.
So they're consistently 30 knots slower than
FedEx
I
88,
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Really cool. Sorry.
expect vectors across final.
My interpreters was running.
FedEx 88, expect vectors across final. FedEx 88, turn left heading 100.
Have you ever seen short takeoff and landing competitions?
I haven't seen the competitions.
FedEx
Well, but you
88,
know what
turn
I'm
left
talking
heading
about, though. Yeah, like they sit
070.
still, high wind place, really high lift light planes,
Yeah.
and they'll basically move like 1 foot and then they're gone.
Really
That's it.
cool.
Yeah.
They,
So like, it's really,
there's really cool moments where they'll be actually going there and like start to move backwards.
Spec 11, turn left heading 310.
That's impressive for sure.
9 miles from Woody, maintain 3,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared
but yeah,
ILS,
sometimes
runway
you can see
28
planes
right.
where, like there'll be a line on the ground, they'll land on land line and stop. That's
Yeah.
it. Like that's the whole landing.
Crazy.
United 656,
Right.
turn right
So,
heading 190,
the
descend and
standard
maintain
entry typically
3,000.
says, be on this 10 line, roughly here. And I didn't mention before, that helps with calculations. So if you're like, how many miles different from the runway, you can say 10, 20, instead of 10, 17, 27, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just mildly easier for the brain. But you'll want to get to about here. So think about if you want to compensate for the turn time, maybe start here, and then by the time you finish, he'll be like around here.
Okay.
But point is to aim for around this line. And then as he's coming in, you now know that in order to hit that 30-degree angle, it's about here. So you get him in. Once he hits about here, you can turn him onto 30 degrees. If it fails, you still got
United
another few miles,
656,
right,
turn left,
and
or
as
turn,
you get closer, you can also compensate and tighten it. So from here, 310. From
United
here,
656,
maybe,
turn right, heading
300.
250.
Here, you're gonna want to do a 290.
If it doesn't come back the first time and you're right there, what did you say?
United 656, 13 miles from Woody, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 28 right.
I want to get over it. I'm like dry.
I mean, you got another week if you want, but yeah, you can do it however you want. So.
I'm also worried if it doesn't record because I know my phone's not going to do it and this stuff that doesn't do it. I'm not have fun.
If it has to be done.
AC 45, turn left, heading 010. Descend and maintain 3000.
But I have a ton of space on my phone, so I don't mind recording it if it has to be done.
Oh, no,
And
that's
sending it in, so that's doable.
November 7 Oscar Foxtrot, turn right, heading 360. Descend and maintain 4000.
Like I said, I don't mind. I just I just don't do it until I have to.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
FedEx 88, turn right, heading 100. Descend and maintain 5000.
I just got this like last week. I'm ready to roll over it. But yeah, whatever works. It wasn't even too bad.
November 5 Echo Golf, turn right, heading 100. Descend and maintain 5000.
Over with. And then, but I don't like the way it goes. I'll just leave it as I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And again, I mean, if you, as long as you let me know, I don't mind coming in Thursday. Obviously, Joe will be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think. Do remember, so for the midterm, the problem with the midterm. Oh, I did forget to mention. The midterm is kind of one and done. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So,
AC 45, turn right, or
I mean, if the recordings literally blow up, yeah, we do it.
Yeah.
AC 45, turn left, heading 310.
It's still new, so I only have a few pictures of what is it, almost Aubrey at work.
November 5 Echo Golf, turn right, heading 100. Descend and maintain 5000.
But yeah, so I mean, I would definitely, get into practice, see how you feel, see how it's going.
November 7 Oscar Foxtrot, turn right, heading 100.
We'll talk through some things, see how it goes.
Okay. Sorry, I only use this for flight school, so I just like have a whole bunch of photos of what is it?
That's
Yeah.
engaging.
AC 45,
Makes sense.
14 miles from Woody, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 28 right.
He hovers on the runway and then just a steep climb up to 3000. It's just like amazing. Sorry, this makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna check it and then I'll upload it to YouTube. So, join this January 6th aircraft. Is it, or is it just how?
It's gonna be 20 minutes. There will be roughly 9 planes. I don't remember. I always tell you guys at a time, like, it's physically impossible to land them all. So don't. So, like, mathematically, like, one of the planes is gonna come in, like,
November
here with,
5
like,
Echo
maybe
Golf,
1 or 2
descend and
minutes left.
maintain
And at 4 miles a
4000.
minute, he can cover 8 miles. So here, that's
Okay.
as close as you can get.
Okay.
So yeah, so don't like.
November 7
strain
Oscar
yourself
Foxtrot,
thinking,
descend and
like,
maintain
I have to get
4000.
into every plane or it's all gonna go wrong or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like it's not that big of a deal.
If I, for this one, if I feel comfortable, like, if I'm ready to get them all in between the extra ones, then we can probably know, like, the short, between you, between your way. After this always, I don't need changes.
Yeah. But yeah, so like it'll be roughly 9 planes, 20 minutes. Of those 9, 7 are physically possible to get in.
Okay.
6 are comfortable to get in. The 7th one, like I said, don't strain it.
Yeah.
And then how many of those 6 you get is gonna depend on how
November 5 Echo Golf, turn left heading 010, descend and maintain 3000.
And again, so like, did I ever go over the point system with you?
Kind of. I think so.
Right. So, 20-minute scenario.
It's like phraseology.
Yeah.
Like
So,
directions for
you start at 100.
Yeah.
That's the thing,
Yeah.
right?
Moving.
If you do dialogue mistakes, it's minus a point each time.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how Joel does it. The assumption I always had though was that like, if you like flow a line, but you
Yeah.
November
consistently
5
do
Echo
it,
Golf, turn left
and
heading
you correct it,
310.
I assume that that's not really much of a that's not a deduction.
There's only a few things I've seen about.
Yeah.
So,
But if you're like consistently doing something wrong over and over again,
Yeah.
you can expect that it's gonna be tick 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 tick.
So just like
FedEx
right.
88, turn right heading 190, descend and maintain 3000.
So there's that, and like I said, I mean, make sure you get in there and correct it if it goes wrong. Correcting it goes a long way to
November
see
5
what
Echo
you're
Golf.
doing.
Yeah. Should I like
8 miles from Woody, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 28 right.
You
Yeah.
can if you want it.
Okay.
I don't.
I don't know if that helps at all.
Most people don't. So I
Yeah,
mean,
oh,
like,
really?
that's the thing. Like, I don't know if he prefers it or he doesn't. Like, I don't know how it goes into it. Because again, as far as the recordings go, he can't hear what they're saying back to you. So like, if I hear you say the same line 3 times, I'm going to assume, and I know that you're saying it correctly.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that it's not coming out correctly on that end. So there is sort of you can assume what's going on type thing, but
If there's if they start walking all over each other and I've like repeated the same thing once and they're saying other weird things together, I'm going to use like the same thing like in practice.
Yeah.
Because that was annoying because I had to like I had already said the thing and I didn't say the right thing back. And I also had to address the other thing that was calling so they don't run their mouth again. So
yeah, I mean, some of the things that can't be caught as well are things like if you give them a call and then they call back with something incorrect and then you don't fix it, then
FedEx
what you'll
88,
see
turn
on
right
this is
heading
you do
250.
a call that is correct and then they do a left turn or something like that,
yeah.
right? In which case the question is it then becomes like, and this isn't, well, the thing is that like even if he knows that you said the line correctly,
Yeah.
like when that call comes in wrong and he does the wrong command, you should have been listening to the readback. So in that case, it's like, were you listening to the readback and did you
FedEx
miss that?
88,
Was it, like,
10
something
miles
you
from
thought?
Woody,
Yeah.
maintain 3000 until established on the
But yeah, so
localizer. Cleared ILS
dialogue
runway
6
28 right.
-1, depending on if it's consistent or variable or if you're correcting it or whatever. The general organization and planning, so like obviously if you're using the box pattern, that's part 1.
November
Like,
7
fill in
Oscar
place all the
Foxtrot,
places
turn
that
left
you're
heading
gonna-
010, descend and maintain 3000.
Like a odds tutor, and he's like, I don't know, like I told him a specific odds tutor, aircraft are calling in the middle of everything.
So
Because AC like picks up sometimes on the other aircraft,
yeah,
which is dumb.
it's one of those things where it's kind of a judgment call. Like, if you said if you said 2,000, then
Yeah.
obviously that's on you because you said
Yeah.
2,000. If you said 3,000 and then they start going, and they were already, and they were like, let's say they're going to land there at 3,000. You say 3,000, but they mistake it for like 2,000 or something because that happens a lot on the final landings. Obviously, so if you're listening to their readback, you might be able to correct it immediately. But if you're already sitting at 3,000, the altitude alert is going to go off at 2,900. So even if you start
Might have been
correcting
bold,
it
but
immediately, it will probably still go off. In which case, you were already correcting it. You're already working on this. Whatever you got to do. Yeah. So I mean,
November
it's
7 Oscar Foxtrot, turn right heading to
So yeah, so general organization and planning, and that also includes, for example, like let's say something did
Arrow
go wrong.
7 Oscar Foxtrot,
but how
turn
do you
right
handle
heading
how that went?
020.
So, the last one is the collision alerts, and that's the one where it's -10
Okay.
for each one.
Yeah,
So
wasn't right.
Oof.
Arrow
yeah,
7
when
Oscar
you're
Foxtrot,
going
turn left
through it,
heading
and this is what I was talking about, like
010.
when you try to force- if you try to force like 7 planes in. I mean, honestly, that 7th plane, because the other planes are ahead of him, he's not really gonna catch up to him. But the point is that if in the pursuit of trying to get planes in, you make a reckless mistake, it's
Arrow
worse
7
than
Oscar
being
Foxtrot, turn
steady
left heading
and regular about it
310.
and just trying to get in, whatever planes you can safely.
Okay.
So don't push yourself, but try to be efficient. It's always a balance.
That makes sense.
For every plane you clear, you will get some points back. I don't remember how many.
Arrow 7
So-
Oscar Foxtrot.
So, like, yeah, that's the thing. So
9 miles from Woody, maintain
if
3,000
you
until established
do
on the
one
localizer.
collision
Cleared
and
ILS,
you're
runway
like,
28
it's
right.
-10, but you handle everything else well and you get a bunch of clearances, you might be able to compensate for that. But I wouldn't guarantee because I don't remember how many points you get back. But
Yeah.
one collision is not necessarily